Um, Before we dive into the world of Disney's Snow White, don't forget to subscribe to our channel and hit the like button if you're enjoying the content as we explore the latest adaptation of this beloved classic. A question comes to mind. What happens when the traditional hero of the story is replaced by a new character? In Disney's live action Snow White, this is precisely what has occurred. Meet Jonathan, the uh, the charming and cunning thief who has stepped into the role traditionally filled by the prince. In this reimagined tale, Jonathan makes his initial appearance as he secretly pilfers potatoes from the castle. Uh, his criticism of Snow White's inaction sparks a chain of events that leads Snow White to stand up for herself and her kingdom's people. Uh, this transformation isn't an instant change, though, again, all of that is. Uh, each subsequent meeting with Jonathan helps Snow White progress gradually towards becoming the powerful figure who unites the peasants, guards, bandits, and dwarfs against the Wicked Queen. One of the most commendable alterations in the live action film is the introduction of Jonathan, who serves as an excellent substitute for the prince. Unlike the prince, Jonathan is not a prince and instead takes over the position of Snow White's romantic interest in the reimagined Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs. This marks one of the most significant alterations from the original tale. The bond between Snow and Jonathan initially feels strained due to him unwittingly disparaging Snow White in her presence. However, there's an undeniable spark between them, uh, stemming from their contentious first encounter. As the tension persists after Snow encounters him in the woods, it becomes evident that they share a common concern for the mistreated peasants, but have contrasting views also how to address the issue and how to significant. In essence, they complement one another perfectly. Uh, as for Snow, her spontaneous lip-seeking gesture prior to the interruption makes his subsequent kiss less unsettling, even though the consent aspect is still questionable. So why did the filmmakers choose to eliminate the prince from the story? Uh, According to the cast, the narrative of this version focuses more on leadership development as opposed to romantic love. In traditional patriarchal societies, the prince would have been cast as the leader if they were together rather than Snow White. By eliminating the prince, the filmmakers were able to create a more empowering story for Snow White where she saves herself and finds her own voice. Jonathan is a more interesting match for Snow White, with a complex personality that sets him apart from the prince. Unlike the prince, who appears to be kind-hearted and romantic, Jonathan is witty, intelligent, and possesses a roguish allure, making him quite distinct from his predecessor. Uh, as a cunning thief, he steals from the wealthy to support his bandit gang, and his social status as a peasant allows him to challenge Snow White's sheltered perspective in the world of Disney's classic Snow White. Jonathan is a breath of fresh air, bringing a unique twist to the romantic storyline. Um, he's his opposites attract dynamic with Snow White, um, adds a refreshing element to the story, making him a more compelling character than the prince. Um, and That's a wrap for today's article. with that said, thanks for watching, and until next time,